Hi friends, I hope you have a wonderful day, and this time I'm gonna be reacting to what happened to F1 World Champions. That's actually interesting question. Okay, Hamilton is still driving, but at least we know he has a passion in his heart as well. But what about other ones? So yeah, let's check it out.
Everyone thinks about world champions standing on the top step of the podium. But have you ever wondered what really happens once they retire? From a driver left paralyzed,
the former Formula One driver who's been in a coma,
to another who became a beekeeper. Yeah, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And even one who kept alcohol very close to his life. This is what happens to F1 world champions after they're done racing. And no one proved how tough the afterlife can be faster than Nico Rosberg. Most world champs celebrate, return next season, defend the crown, fight again.
Verstappen sets after Hamilton. Is it going to be a first world championship for Verstappen? Is it going to be an 8th world championship for Lewis Hamilton?
Nico, bro lasted 5 days. 5. Like, the world was still arguing about the double DNF in Spain, the engine failure in Malaysia, and that weird double points rule the FIA snuck into Abu Dhabi. No one could really believe he said Auf Wiedersehen. However, behind the scenes, it was the natural conclusion of a year spent under crushing pressure. See, Lewis and Nico weren't just teammates. They raced go-karts together, joked about pizza, dreamed of becoming world champions. Then Lewis arrived at Mercedes in 2013, joining the guy who had survived Michael Schumacher himself. Everyone thought it was the childhood dream reunion, until Monaco 2014 happened.
He goes to the right, back to the left, and then there's there. It's just always moving.
So yellow, turn 5. Yellow, turn 5.
Yeah, very good of him. Very good.
After that day, nothing was the same. Lewis won 2 straight titles.
Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world in 2014. It is the championship in 2015 for Lewis Hamilton.
And became the face of the team. The guy everyone expected to dominate forever. But when 2016 rolled around, Nico made a decision. He was gonna give it everything. And when I say everything, I literally mean it. So when he finally became champion, it felt like he'd beaten the final boss on Nightmare Mode.
Nico Rosberg is second. He takes the championship 34 years after his father.
Yes, world champion. Brilliant.
And the moment that emotional weight fell off, boom, something clicked. He realized there was no way he could go through another season like that. Not mentally, not physically, not emotionally.
So yeah, not interested to do that again. Don't want to do it again. And so I've decided to follow my heart, and my heart has told me to stop there, call it a day.
Toto.
I totally understand him. Like, you reach your goal. Of course, it's wonderful that some can do even more times than just one. But if it's destroying your mental health, better know when you need to go away. So I love that for him, that he could say no and just go. So yeah.
Niki, fans, even Sabrina Carpenter if she'd been around, everyone thought it was a mistake. But guess what? Leaving F1 didn't slow him down at all. He went full eco-warrior mode. He started investing in green tech, putting money into Formula E, before most people even knew it existed.
Nice.
Plus futuristic companies like Lilium and Volocopter. Then in 2018, he co-founded the Green Tech Festival, a huge sustainability event in cities like Berlin, London, and Singapore. And he didn't stay away from motorsport either. Some of you will remember in 2021, his team Rosberg X Racing won the first ever Extreme E Championship.
Nice.
Cross the line next. They are the champions, our first ever Extreme E winners. Christopherson punches the air. He is delighted. The whole team are delighted. Wow, what a final.
Others might know him from his paddock appearances with Sky and RTL, but the real ones, we remember him from his YouTube channel.
Now I'm going to start talking about the win. This corner, actually, I don't know much about.
Certified PTSD material. Low-key, his channel is a vibe. So yeah, Nico's lifestyle changed completely. Our next guy, not so much. See, James Hunt's retirement in 1979 wasn't some emotional goodbye. He just woke up one morning, realized he didn't feel the spark anymore, and said, yeah, from kit. Mid-season, just like that. That is the most Hunt thing ever. And honestly, I kind of respect that energy, even though everyone knows it's not sustainable forever. Still, he lived exactly the way he wanted, and when the time came, my guy just pulled the plot twist. He became a commentator for BBC, working side by side with Murray Walker, the king of hype. And the contrast between them, pure comedy.
The reason I'm going so slow these days is that I'm used to turbo cars, and these normally aspirated engine cars are a very different kettle of fish to drive, he says.
And all I can say to that is bull.
Now, you'd think he'd still be the same sec breakfast of champions maniac. But what's wild is that he also changed a lot outside the commentary booth. Stopped drinking so much, cut back on smoking, focused more on his health, and got into cycling. Cycling! The same guy who once walked around barefoot in the paddock with a cigarette and a random shirt halfway open. But even with all the improvements, the damage from his earlier years stayed with him. And in 1993, everything stopped. On the 15th of June, after proposing to his girlfriend Helen Dyson the night before, Hunt had a massive heart attack at home. 45 years old. No warning, no signs, just gone.
Millions and millions of people who have been watching Grand Prix racing over the years and enjoying everything that he had to say are going to feel very much the poorer as a result of the fact that he's no longer with us to say it. It's left an enormous hole in my life. I really am going to miss him very much indeed.
Aw. It was 47, right? It's still young. Ugh. So yeah, that's the reason why you can't party too much and have... Okay, as for the breakfast, that couldn't hurt anyone. That's a good one. It's a sport in the morning. But yeah. The smoking totally doesn't help anyone.
The world still admires him, still misses him, because even though he was a rock star, he was also a genuinely good person. And while Hunt's story ended early, his greatest rival took the exact opposite path. See, Niki Lauda's story was never about talent alone. It was about refusal to quit, refusal to break, refusal to let the world decide his ending. In 1976, he wasn't leading the championship. He was redefining what it meant to think like a driver. Disciplined, analytical, almost surgical in the way he prepared. Until the Nürburgring.
Yeah, this one.
The impact was brutal. The fire, even worse. He suffered deep burns, damaged lungs, internal injuries. Doctors whispered their doubts. A priest delivered last rites. And yet, drifting in and out of consciousness, Lauda held on to something stronger than fear. The quiet conviction that this was not where his story ended. 6 weeks later, he climbed back into the cockpit. The heat burned his wounds open. The bandages pressed against raw skin. Every steering input hurt. But he kept going. Because for him, leaving the car felt more unbearable than the pain inside it. It wasn't symbolic. It was simply who he was. He went on to win 2 more world championships, proof that his comeback wasn't luck, it was sheer persistence. And when he finally retired, he built airlines, ran companies, and later became one of the architects behind Mercedes' modern dominance, convincing Lewis Hamilton to join and setting the foundation for a dynasty. But the fire never stopped shaping his life. 2 kidney transplants, one from his brother, one from his future wife, followed by a lung transplant in 2018. Still, he worked for as long as he could, until his passing in 2019 at the age of 70.
Wait, he is dead?
Surrounded by family.
He's considered one of the finest Formula One drivers ever.
I still thought that he is still alive. No.
Niki Lauda has died at the age of 70.
I really was fighting with the spirit of Niki. Niki's been such an influential person in our team, helping us get to where we are.
I seriously thought that he is still alive. Like, I have seen him in a bunch of videos, so... yeah, bunch of videos that I don't know, I can't remember in what year, but oh my god. Oh. But at least he he had a good, long life, of course.
His legacy is undeniable. The man whose resilience helped the Silver Arrows build a structure capable of winning 7 world titles. A legend, forever remembered. Alright, enough with the direct tragedies. Let's move on to something a little more random. Some dynasties are built on money, others on raw talent. But the Hill family, they built theirs on pressure, legacy, and a whole lot of emotional turbulence. Before Damon ever touched a steering wheel, his father Graham was already that guy. Charismatic, stylish, the gold standard of British motorsport. Because his confidence levels were somewhere between movie star and Bond villain. He founded his own F1 team in 1973, Embassy Hill. But not only did he run it, he drove for it. Imagine being your own boss at 180 miles per hour. Performance review and near-death experience in the same lap. Then came Monaco 1975. Graham failed to qualify. For a man who practically owned that circuit emotionally, it hit hard. He retired on the spot. No speeches, no drama, just quiet acceptance. And then, it got worse. Later that year, flying home with Tony Bryce and 4 team members, his plane crashed in heavy fog.
No! Right away? Like after that one?
Survivors. Embassy Hill shut down immediately and a whole piece of F1 history vanished overnight. And from that shadow, Damon grew up. He didn't even start in cars. He began on motorcycles because apparently the family hobby was speed in any form. But he kept climbing, kept grinding, and in 1996, he became world champ.
He fought from second on the grid. He passed Jacques Villeneuve. He took the lead. He stayed there. And Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix. Damon Hill, world champion. What about that?
It's just so fantastic. I can't tell you, Murray. I was driving along and I could hear you in my head. There it goes, you know, Jack's out, Murray's off.
One of the most meaningful comebacks the sport has ever seen. After retiring in 1999, Damon didn't fade away. He built businesses, spent half his life at Goodwood, and then, in true plot twist fashion, became BRDC president in 2006. Silverstone was collapsing politically and financially, and Damon basically walked in, steadied the ship, and saved a British Grand Prix. Then Sky Sports arrived and he became the calm voice explaining chaos every Sunday. But maybe his strongest step? Speaking openly about his struggles with depression, becoming a genuine voice for mental health in motorsports.
The other reason was also to talk about experience of having depression and also going through therapy. If you're a Formula 1 world champion, you have to eat a lot of humble pie to sit there and say to someone, I'm lost, I don't know where I'm going.
Incredible, huh?
Yeah.
Until you see the next story. John Surtees was already a class above long before he even touched an F1 car. The man dominated motorcycle racing like it was nothing. Then
I don't think I have seen anything about him, but like I have heard his name at least.
Switched to cars and won there too. But this part of his story isn't about the trophies. It's about what he built, what he lost, and how he kept going anyway. In 1966, yes, while still racing full time, he founded the Surtees Racing Organization, and he didn't create a small cute team either. They ran in Formula 1, Formula 2, and Formula 5000. Now, was everything smooth? Of course not. Surtees kept pushing. Even after retiring in 1972, he never really left. Motorsport was in his DNA. He helped young drivers, discussed safety, walked around circuits like the quiet MVP everyone respected. But then, things got dark. In 2009, at Brands Hatch, his 18-year-old son Henry Surtees was racing in Formula 2. The kid had talent, calmness, and that elite awareness drivers dream of. And then, a freak accident happened.
24 Tom Gladys. Oh, and a huge off. That's Jack Clark.
Oh, this one. No.
And that's a very nasty looking accident. And worry immediately is Surtees. Yes, Surtees is moving as well.
Oh no.
Everything went silent. Surtees lived through the deadliest eras of racing. He'd seen more crashes than most of us could handle, but nothing prepares a father for that. Instead of shutting himself off, he created the Henry Surtees Foundation, fighting for safer racing, better medical response, and support for people with brain and physical injuries. So yeah, Surtees didn't just conquer 2 worlds, he tried to make them safer for everyone who came after. And while he showed us the emotional, heavy side of racing, the next guy, he's about to show us how cold, calculated, and beautifully petty this sport can get. Because now we're stepping into
like that, what I'm always thinking, one thing that as a parent you shouldn't see is basically your child is dying, and in that way it's just like, even now we know we have halos and that could protect him, and it wasn't just invented yet, and that just sucks. Oh my god, it's hard one. So bad. Oh my god.
To the mind of Alain Prost. And honestly, it's iconic behavior. The truth is, Prost didn't retire in the way normal humans retire. He just stopped driving and started doing everything else. The man acted like the paddock was his second home. Right after winning his last title in 1993, most drivers would have taken a vacation or bought a boat. But Prost? TV commentary, talking about races with that calm professor vibe only he has. And in addition to that, he even became a test driver and advisor for McLaren. But the real twist came in 1997. Instead of joining another team, Prost simply said, "Fine, I'll make my own team then." He bought Ligier, renamed it Prost Grand Prix. A French F1 legend leading a French team. Yeah, people thought this was the comeback of the decade. Except, things got rough. Money problems, technical headaches, engines acting weird, sponsors dipping. It was just pain after pain.
No.
That project struggled so much it ended in bankruptcy in 2001. But Prost really doesn't know how to stay down, so after
that's the reason why I haven't heard it.
Losing his team, he suddenly appeared in ice racing of all things. Yeah, straight up frozen
Ice
tracks,
racing.
and won 3 championships while at it. Then came the electric era, when Formula E kicked off in 2014 to 15. Prost co-founded Renault Adams.
The sound seriously reminds like the little car, I don't know, in a park, you know, where the kids are driving, and I don't know. When I'm hearing Formula, I don't think of that sound, of course, but yeah.
Then that team instantly became one of the strongest in the whole championship. Titles, wins, consistency. He really built an empire out of batteries. Then in 2017, he walked right back into F1 as an advisor and non-executive director for Renault, later Alpine. He stayed there until 2022 when he finally stepped away. To put it simply, Prost didn't fade away. He stayed relevant. But here's the funny part. While Prost was building order and strategy everywhere he went, the next champion lived the complete opposite kind of afterlife. And trust me, this one is a whole different energy. Let's talk about... One day he was a world champion, and the next he was out in a forest sliding rally cars. Honestly, that's peak Kimi RAikkAinen energy. While most drivers hold on to F1 like it's their last lifeline, he packed his bags in 2009 and left Ferrari. And instead of begging for another seat, he picked the most random but perfect option for someone like him. Rallying. His first retirement in 2010 and 2011 wasn't a break. He joined the Citroën Junior team, created his own squad called Ice One Racing, and basically lived in the woods for 2 years. Rally isn't your typical racing, but Kimi, he handled it with the same calm face he uses for everything. Sure, he messed up a few times, but he never looked tilted. And in 2012, he walked back into Formula One with Lotus, and instantly made the whole grid look like amateurs. But eventually, the story looped back to where it all began. Ferrari wanted him again. While the world obsessed over Vettel versus Hamilton, Kimi was there doing Kimi things, quietly scoring. Then in 2018, like a final flex, he won the United States Grand Prix at age 39.
Kimi RAikkAinen wins the US Grand Prix and breaks the record for the longest gap between race wins.
After that, he chose happiness over hype. Ferrari sent him to their satellite team, Alfa Romeo, where he basically became everyone's favorite chaos uncle from 2019 to 2021.
Okay, fingers on. Sound like you did have a difference of opinion on strategy with your team. What was that about?
Nothing.
And when he retired again, was this time for real? No. Out of nowhere, he showed up in NASCAR. Yeah, NASCAR, a Finnish F1 world champion in a giant American stock car. He raced with Track Horse Racing's Project 91, first at Watkins Glen in 2022, then at Cotter in 2023. He didn't win, but he wasn't dead slow either, and the scenes? To be seen. Fans were losing it, but Kimi wasn't done yet. In 2022, he became the team principal for Kawasaki's MXGP motocross team. He's been obsessed with motocross for years, so it makes sense. And now, Kimi lives peacefully with his family, refuses interviews whenever possible, and keeps doing whatever feels fun that week. Back in 2017, according to several reports, Raikkonen opened a karaoke bar in Helsinki and kept the exact location a secret. The story is that he planned it. On top of that,
maybe I need to go there. Okay, that karaoke bar. Why so random?
Since 2015, he's been the face of a Finnish long drink brand called a traditional dry gin, now called Iceman Long Drink.
Leave me alone. I know what I'm drinking.
In 2023, the brand even expanded into Japan with him on board. So, yeah, it's safe to say he's probably never paying for a drink again. And while Kimi went full, just leave me alone, the next guy did the exact opposite. He hung up the helmet and picked up an...
But actually, I from Raikkonen, he probably is one of the reasons why, like, there is a time where you can... When you can like choose your numbers, you know, and I forgot how long it was, like 5 years or something, that you can't get the other guy's number if he is still out. Probably he is one of the reasons why. But yeah. That makes sense. When I heard about the numbers, that you can't get it straight away when someone is leaving, I was kind of, why? Like, he left, but yeah, makes sense.
An entire course. Just like that, after winning 4 titles in a row, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, and being in a league of his own. People thought Vettel would retire, relax, maybe start a vineyard or something, but nope. The moment he left F1 in 2022, his new version was all about making the world better. First came the environmental activism, and he didn't just talk about it, he lived it. He started raising awareness while still racing, even though, yeah, he was driving huge fuel burners every weekend, but that's besides the point. After retiring, he kicked off his Race Without a Trace project. He even fired up his old RB8 again, but this time with carbon neutral fuel. The car still had elite pace, but the message was stronger, and he didn't stop there. He also backed biodiversity campaigns and even built bee hotels as part of his Save the Bees project. The goal?
That name is kind of crazy to me. Bee hotel. Bee hotel. Hotels. I'm struggling today. But like, that sounds so weird.
To spread awareness about biodiversity loss and the decline in insect populations, and to show that individual actions can really make a difference. Then came the social activism. Vettel didn't stay quiet here either. He wore the same love shirt in Hungary, used a rainbow helmet, and spoke up for the LGBTQ+ community when plenty of people stayed scared. He just didn't care. He went for it clean and simple. He even kept racing, but only on his own terms. He joined the Race of Champions a few times, showing he still had the instincts, but refused to return unless the racing was sustainable. Vettel didn't just retire, he transformed. And while he chose to fight for bees, trees, and people, the next champion fought something much bigger, fate.
He did even clean after everyone. Like, everybody is gone, and he was cleaning the garbage from everywhere, you know. That's even crazy to me. Like, I can't think of anyone else. Like, if you are a champion, you know, I think that is going to your brain right straight away, and it like kind of collecting the trash. It's kind of beneath you, but not to him. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Itself. His story isn't just greatness, it's greatness mixed with heartbreak. 7 world titles, the man who put Ferrari back on its throne until 2006 hit.
This is the right moment. To make it short, in a way, this is going to be my last Monza race I'm going to do. At the end of this year, I've decided together with the team that I'm going to retire from racing.
It was inevitable. I mean, Ferrari had already signed the Iceman behind his back. That meant 3 drivers for 2 seats. Schumacher.
I thought that he wanted to go, but okay, but like they did the Iceman Raikkonen, right? That's shitty. I forgot if I'm remembering it right, like he didn't get places anymore. I guess I could be wrong. It's a little mush in my brain right now.
Raikkonen and Felipe Massa, the guy Michael had been mentoring for years. Then Ferrari basically told him either you stay and push out Massa or you leave. And as a gentleman, Michael chose to step aside. Not because he couldn't keep fighting, but because he didn't want Massa to get thrown out. But he didn't disappear. He became an advisor for the Scuderia for 2 years, until the motorcycle thing happened. Since he wasn't racing in F1, he went full adrenaline addict and started...
Motorcycle happened. I don't know something. I thought... Okay, then was with the skiing, right? No. I forgot.
Competing in superbikes until 2009, when he crashed badly in Spain and injured his neck. Nobody knew how serious it really was. Then Massa got hurt that summer.
Oh, yeah. This was a bad one.
Ferrari called Michael back. He trained like crazy, even tested the car, and the whole world got hyped. But his neck couldn't take the G-forces. The comeback was over before it started. And that's when he said, fine, if not Ferrari, then Mercedes. So in 2010, he returned and helped build the base that later became the Hamilton-era monster. By 2012, he retired again. Quietly, he focused on helping charity, supporting kids and spending time with his family. And then, 2013, skiing with Mick. 1 fall, 1 rock, 1 terrible accident.
Former Formula One driver who's been in a coma since a skiing accident.
The situation surrounding Michael Schumacher this morning, doctors say he's still fighting for his life.
Michael Schumacher is fighting for his life tonight after a skiing accident yesterday in the French Alps.
Since then, his health has been completely private. Just his family protecting him, which honestly says everything. Because even legends are human, even heroes can fall. And sometimes the hardest battles are the ones nobody sees. But in the end, every world champion proves the same truth. The real fight begins long after the engines go silent. So if you enjoyed watching how these legends rebuilt their lives after the helmets came off, make sure you watch the other side of the story. The most unhinged, chaotic and downright unbelievable moments F1 champions lived before retirement. And
again, I did tear up. But yeah, I think the most wholesome was about Vettel. Like, yeah, but one thing I just thought, now the FIA would allow him like go with the rainbow colors and stuff like that, or he got, I don't know, some points, like if he would do like now. That was one thing that I straight away thought, what would happen now? But yeah, so yeah, thank you for watching this video with me, and I really hope that you did enjoy, and if you did, please consider to leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.